obviously a way for that, and that would be to do his direct materials variances. And so that's the focus of our video here. Again, labor and overhead will be covered in the subsequent couple of videos. So direct materials variances. To do variances, you'll notice in your textbook there's probably a few different ways presented, equations, and I like to do it in a chart like this. So I draw two kind of prongs, and on top of the prongs I write AQ times AP, AQ times SP, AQ times SP, and SQ times SP. Now, what do these stand for? AQ stands for actual quantity, as in actual quantity of direct materials. So this is always going to be measured in kilograms or grams or pounds or liters or ounces. It's a unit of measure. AP is the actual price we paid per unit, so per kilogram in this case. SQ is the standard quantity, and SP is the standard price that we should have paid. So let's try to fill this in for our company, and I think by the end you'll have a pretty good measure of how to do variances. AQ, Bill's actual quantity of materials purchased. So he purchased 90 kilograms of beef. That's his AQ. So AQ is 90 kilograms. I can fill it in here too, because it's the same. Oh, I should note, the left prong is for direct materials purchased. The right prong is for direct materials used. I almost used. I almost filled in the right prong as 90 kilograms, but of course we used a different amount from what we purchased. So we purchased 90 kilograms. Our actual price we paid was $8.50 per kilogram. So if I multiply them through, you'll find I paid $765 for my direct materials that I purchased. 90 kilograms is still my actual quantity for the right-hand prong. My standard price here, I got to go up to my standards. Bill said, oh, you know what? It should cost me $8 per kilogram. So my standard price is 8. So 90 times 8 is $720. Doing the math here, we actually spent $765. If we paid our standard price, we would have only spent $720. We're off by $45. These two numbers are $45 apart. This is a variance. This is a $45 variance. Now we've got to say, is this a good variance or a bad variance? But in accounting, we don't say good or bad. We say, is it favorable or unfavorable? Well, he should have paid $720 according to standards. He actually paid $765 according to what actually happened. This isn't good. He paid a little bit too much. This is an unfavorable variance. And we call this the direct materials price variance. Moving over to quantity, the direct materials used, we want to figure out the actual quantity of material that he used. He purchased 90 kilograms. He had 2 kilograms left over, so we can say, okay, he purchased 90, he had 2 left over. He must have used 88 kilograms. His standard price here, well, that didn't change. His standard price was and is $8 a kilogram. So he used 88 kilograms. The cost here was $8 a kilogram. I'm just going to erase that, write it a little lower. 88 times 8 is 704. Last, standard quantity times standard price. Well, the standard price remains $8. To figure out the standard quantity, we have to answer this question. Given the actual number of units produced, how much material should have been used? How much direct material ought to have been used? So given the fact that he made, I believe it was 400 burgers, how many kilograms of beef should he have used? So he did actually make 400 burgers. It should take 0.2 kilograms. So 400 times 0.2 means it should have taken 80 kilograms of beef. 80 kilograms times $8 a kilogram is $640. So again, we're left with a position where we have two numbers. We want to figure out the difference, and the difference is $64. This difference, we've got to figure out, is this a good difference or a bad one? Is it favorable or unfavorable? And our answer here is, well, we should have used 80 kilograms of ground beef. We used 88. We used too much ground beef, right? We should have used 80. We used 88. This might be good for our customers. They get a little bigger burger, but it's not good for our bottom line. We used too much beef. Or maybe we just were wasteful. Maybe we were throwing some beef in the garbage that we weren't expecting to.